This is for any autistic person on their healing journey. Do not over police your emotions and your thoughts to the point where you feel like each one of the ones that you have that's unfavorable needs to be fixed. We think different. We think bottom up. We think in variables and combining them all to come up with a proper conclusion. A lot of times when people say you need to feel your feelings, don't use logic, that doesn't apply to us because a lot of times me reading a book is going to solve most of my answers. I'm not speaking for every autistic person, but one of the most healing elements to me is validation and vocabulary. Knowing that the feeling that I'm feeling is not unique, not special, that I'm not out of my mind, and also having someone telling me, yeah, I've also went through that and I understand you. It's why this app has been such a huge thing for the autistic community because a lot of us have found out so much about ourselves that we never thought anyone would relate to. And it doesn't cure everything, but a lot of times when you're autistic, a lot of people are going to invalidate your feelings because they don't understand them. Every trauma, every grievance you've ever had in your life is going to be someone thinking you're overreacting because they're looking at your face, they're hearing your voice, and they're like, it's probably not that big of a deal. It's what happens when you're near the bottom of the social hierarchy. It's literally feeling like a child who's trying to warn everyone that the roof is on fire and the adults around them are like, they're just overreacting, doing kid things. A lot of my shadow work journey for the last 5 years have been both breathing exercises to get my nervous system back on track to let it know that I'm in a safer environment, and the rest has been research. Psychology, queerness, autism, the things that help me figure out parts about myself that I never had the time to learn growing up. But there's going to come times where you're going to reach a dead end where I have approached this problem, this feeling that I'm not really favoring right now from every angle that I can possibly think of. And a lot of the times, the hardest thing for an autistic person is just to validate their own feelings. Because a lot of the times, the feelings that we're the most confused about are the feelings that people have shamed us for but are actually valid. When you're autistic, your brain feels like a time machine. You come across a thought that might be a memory or just like a made up scenario inside your head, and it feels like you're actually there. That's why the past is such an important thing for autistic people because a lot of times our brains are stuck at that point because the feeling has not been resolved. A lot of people just tell us to let it go or live in the present, but it's not that simple for us. Our brain is literally sending us back like 5 times a day. And the more we try to fight it, the worse it is. And that's where my advice is. Don't fight it. Well, at first, maybe come at it with a logical point of view, like saying, why are you here? Because your feelings aren't your enemy. They're always trying to tell you something. Better yet, they just need to be addressed. They want to be addressed. They want you to acknowledge them. Your feelings got you through half the bullshit of your life because they're set up in a way to where you were able to survive the environment in which you grew up in. And now you're out of that environment and your feelings are like, okay, I'm actually freaking out because what am I supposed to do now? So now you have to switch them up. And that's where things like breathing and exercise comes in. It helps you kind of reset your nervous system and let you know that, hey, I'm here right now. And the rest is going to be a little bit of a field day. Because a lot of my autistic people out there are going to have to learn themselves from the ground up. We spend so long trying to blend into something else. A lot of us don't know who we are. A lot of us have just been watching the most popular thing, or this person seems like they know what they're doing. They seem like they know what they're talking about. Let's just follow them. But autistic people, you are not a side character in your own life. A lot of us don't realize just how much that's affected our way of thinking because a lot of times when I feel a feeling that I don't know where it's coming from, I've addressed it from each angle that I can think of, I automatically think that I'm the problem. What's wrong with me? Why can't I get over this? Am I just broken? We live in a very narcissistic society where a lot of shit to us doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, period, but they want to pretend that it does. Christianity rules this bitch, so they're about to tell us that every single feeling that we have is probably demonic. Anger, that's a no-no. Fear, that's a no-no. Lust, that's a no-no. There are moments on your healing journey where you have to ask yourself, does the feeling need to be healed or does it need to be accepted? Because there's a lot of moments on my healing journey where I just had to accept that I hate that person. I understand why they are the way that they are, but I want absolutely nothing to do with them, and my feelings about that are valid. I am not immature. I am not lesser for not trying to overcome my feelings about it. I just have to be able to accept it for now, and maybe somewhere down the line it will change. But for now, this is how I feel. Sometimes it's going to feel like you have no say over your feelings or your emotions, but the more you sit with them, the more you realize that they're right. And it's more so the patterns that you've learned, the things that you've picked up along the way that are trying to fight those feelings than anything. Sometimes maybe I'm just pissed, maybe I'm just scared, maybe I'm just sad, and that's perfectly fine. There's not anything to be ashamed of, and anyone who thinks so is probably emotionally illiterate. It's why I don't fuck with most men and most male-centered women out here. I can't tell you how to go about the spiritual practices, but remember this phrase: become water. Don't move like water. Don't swim through the water. Become water. Flow with it. You feel this tension in your head when you're angry? Let it flow over you. Don't let it consume you. Let it wash over you like water. And go, okay, I see you. I accept you. Don't try to calm yourself down. Allow it to be. but don't let it control your actions. You're giving it respect, but tell it give it your respect back.